We gotta look back at this. How does he maintain possession?
Jenkins. And that definitely was a little helmet-to-helmet on that hit.
Guys, Meredith Gorman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
NFL Week 7 is already here, guys. I'll be breaking down 3 games like usual. Lions versus Ravens, big game there in the AFC. Falcons versus Bucs, big divisional game. And the Monday nighter, like always, 49ers versus Vikings. Got my wisdom tooth removed the other day. If you watch my UFC videos, you probably saw that. A little worse yesterday, getting a little better. So just a little heads up, guys. Systemsportscapping.com or link.me/systemcapping to become a client today. Start profiting long-term betting on all sports. I handicap long-term. Avoid slow stock market returns, if you're lucky, of course. Crypto scams and big losses in that market, and savings accounts that just sit there. Follow me on social media. System Capping on all platforms. Like this video, guys. It does help me out a ton. NFL Week 6, first week with no profit, guys. It was going to come sooner or later. We went 5 straight weeks with profit, so over 14 units. And it was because of a missed field goal by San Fran, right? 41-yard field goal. We would have profited on the week, even we did have some other bad beats. He missed a 41-yarder. We would have hit a teaser winner, their full unit, plus 120. You're going to get bad beats throughout the year. Again, though, Browns played well on defense. P.J. Walker wasn't good, but he did enough to get, 19 points against San Fran's D? Not terrible. Not terrible. A lot of them was due to the defense playing well, getting good field position. I don't know if they had a defensive score or not. I can't remember. But, Browns do have a solid defense. So that was the one loss there. And then we had some bad beats in the prop market. We had T.J. Hawkinson over 50.5 yards. He finished with 50. That was a bad beat there. And then Deebo Samuel had over 37. He got hurt in the first quarter. So a couple bad beats are going to happen throughout the year. Can't do anything about them. The only thing you can do is just try to avoid them. We were able to do that the first 5 weeks. They are going to come throughout the year. Just hopefully we're able to limit them. 67% on the year, guys. All bets highlighted by 6-1 totals. 8-1 betting on Ravens games this year, whether it's against them on totals, props, etc. We'll have a few this week. Over 13 units on the year. 72% best bets lifetime in the NFL, guys. Now, I don't bet many best bets. You'll find a couple a year. I have one pending in the future market this year. You may get 1 or 2 throughout the year. When I call it a best bet, it's a best bet for a reason, right? So a regular season game, is it really a best bet? It's hard for me to get to a regular season best bet unless the situation is just perfect. It hits on all 5 things that I look for in a game. But yeah, I'll have maybe 1 or 2 throughout the year in a certain specific situation. Some nice full unit winners last week on the Titans, under 17.5 team total. That cash rush full unit. A full unit winner on the Rams, early line, minus 6.5. That's why it pays off to be a client, guys. You get early lines from me on Monday or Tuesday. I got the Rams 6.5. It closed at 7. They still covered. I probably still would have bet it at 7. What did they win by? 16, 17 points? Nice win there for the Rams. We missed out on the underdog last week, moving to 10-2 on the year in the underdog market. Let's do some injury news. We did add the injury news segment to the videos. If you guys asked for it, a ton last week, so bear with me. Justin Fields hurt his thumb, is out this week. Keep that in mind if you're going to bet that game. Justin Fields is out. In comes Bagent. No idea who he was when he came in last week. Undrafted guy. He was terrible, except he had one good drive, actually. He looked okay. Jimmy G had a back injury, went to the hospital. He'll be out this week for the Raiders. Will Watson be back for the Browns? I don't think so. He hasn't practiced this week, so I don't think he'll be back. Still with that shoulder issue. Anthony Richardson's the big one, out for the year. Confirmed by the Colts. Tough loss for the Colts. Tough loss for Anthony Richardson. He was playing well in his rookie year, but the way he plays, I do think he's just going to get injured year after year. He's going to, I think, going to have to adapt. Runs very hard. That's how he's getting hurt. Willing to, get hit. I don't know if that's going to last in the NFL, guys. Daniel Jones will still be out for the Giants. Taylor will be in there another game. David Montgomery, big one for the Lions. He was running well coming into this game. That will affect the Lions' run game. Josh Allen did get hurt. He'll play, though. He already was back at practice. Rams lost their starting running back, Williams, for a few weeks. Keep that in mind. May have to throw the ball a lot there. Good news for Green Bay. Aaron Jones should be back this week. That's an important one. Green Bay on the road there. Both Lane Johnson and Devontae Smith for the Eagles did not practice yet this week for the Eagles, guys. Keep in mind, those are two key guys. Lane Johnson, one of the best O-line in the league. And then Devontae Smith, obviously one of the key weapons there in Philly. And of course, CMC, Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams all didn't practice this week. Watch a Friday injury report. I think they get one or two of them back. They're not long-term injuries, and they need to win this game against the Vikings. Let's hear from my friend Kristen before we get into this card.
For you sports bettors out there, let's be honest, you probably need a little bit of help beating those books. System capping is a proven long-term winner against the sports betting market in multiple sports. He's built a worldwide clientele due to his high winning percentage over the years. Be sure to click the link on the bio down here to check out his profile, and you can also find out his resume, client comments, podcasts, and subscription opportunities. I'm going to be following him along too, so let's win some money together this season.
Shop around, guys. Shop around, have multiple books, get the best number out there, best price out there. Again, doesn't affect the NFL a ton. Half points here and there, totals, half points. You'll see money line prices, teasers, etc. But other sports, it's very key. Lions at Ravens, -3 Ravens, total 43. A battle between two of the top AFC teams early in the season, right? These teams, I would say, are both top 5 in the AFC, if not, top 3 or 4. This Lions could be 6-0. This Lions team, right? A tough OT loss to Seattle at home, and the Ravens are a team that also could be 6-0. The Indy loss at home was just terrible, tough one. They gave it away, and they also gave away the Steelers game, which was even worse. I've watched a lot of Ravens games over my times. That may have been the worst game they gave away in a very long time. Steelers had 11% chance of winning that game with 5 minutes left, guys. A big win last week for the Ravens in London versus the Titans to move to 4-2. I do think the traveling early in the week helped. The Ravens went Monday, Titans went Thursday. Keep that in mind. Question here is, how will the Ravens look after the long travel? And the question is, it's hard to answer, right? However, they came back, Sunday, Monday. There's a lot of time to be ready and get ready. So I'll probably be staying away from the side here, even though I do lean the Ravens to get the home win here. This will be the best defense that the Lions have faced, and it's not even that close, guys. Best team was probably the Bucs last week, and the Bucs held them to 20 points. Sure, the Lions have been playing well. I'm not taking away anything from them. This defense has improved a ton from last year. Top 10 across the board in most stats, highlighted by their run D being first in the NFL, allowing only 64 yards per game. First in the NFL, guys. Okay, they're allowing 18.8 points per game, which has them around 9th in the NFL. Let's see who they played, though, right? Week 1, they beat the Chiefs. Now, Week 1, I don't look at Week 1 much, right? Because teams don't come out the way they usually are going to come out for the rest of the season. So I don't really look at that. Still a good win. It was on the road, guys. It was on the road. KC, had the chance to win that game. Obviously, a couple drop balls, reason why they lost that. But I don't look into that too much. Then they lost to Seattle at home in OT. Seattle's a fairly good team, but still a bad loss at home, I would say. They beat the Falcons. Falcons, not a good team. Have struggled scoring. Defense is decent. They beat the Packers, who were really banged up in that game. Nice road win, though. Then they beat Carolina, the worst team in the league. And then the Bucs last week. An average team at best. So, to me, if you wipe out week 1, which anything could happen in my eyes, they still haven't beat a good team. So this game will tell a lot, right? This game will tell a lot. This will be the best defense they've played yet. And it's on the road. They're going to be missing Montgomery in this game. Tight end still banged up. Laporta, who's been playing well this year. Gibbs may be back for this team. Look out for that. That'll be huge for them. I think he'll have to play. Even if he's not 100%, I think they're going to play him because I don't know who they'll have a running back if Montgomery's out and Gibbs. I don't know their depth third, right? So, and the Ravens are finally healthy. The Ravens are finally healthy for the most part. Coming off a tough home loss versus the Colts last time in Baltimore, right? So this is to avoid losing 2 in a row at home. Usually Ravens are very good at home. I do think the defense shines here. Lamar does enough to get the job done. Top 10 in most defensive stats for Baltimore. Allowing 15.2 points per game, which is the 4th in the NFL. 9th versus the run, which I do think will come down a bit. And 2nd versus the pass, allowing 163 yards per game. And that was their weakness last year. Was against the pass. But now they're starting to get a little bit healthier. Safeties are playing well. And this is what Detroit likes to do, throw the ball, right? They like to throw the ball. But it's going to be a little more difficult to throw against the second best pass D in the NFL. So we'll see what it gives. Something's going to have to give here in this matchup. He's number a reason why I'm a fan of the Ravens, right? Defense. I love watching a defensive team, even though sometimes it can be boring for some. I like the hard-nosed defense. Play will be the Ravens. I do like the under as well, under 43. Both defenses have been solid this year. The Ravens offense just hasn't got going as of yet. It's close, but it hasn't been able to get going except against the Browns. Right? They were okay against the Titans, but against the Browns they had a big game. But it's just been inconsistent at times. And Lions, very good defense. So I expect this game to be somewhat low scoring. And the Ravens to pull it off. -3 is tough, right? Could be a 3-point game. May want to look at the money line or in the teaser market. Falcons at Tampa. Tampa -2.5. Total 37. A big divisional game here, guys. This game could decide early on who wins this division, right? When you win the division, get in the playoffs. These two teams, are they playoff teams? I would say no. I would say maybe a wild card team. But hey, one of them gets to win the division. We'll see who it's going to be. They're probably going to just end up around 500, both these teams again. And, 500 is going to be enough to win the division. I think Tampa Bay won a game under 500 last year, right? Both teams started playing fairly well early on in the season, getting favorable matchups, but just haven't looked as good as of late. Bucs lead the division at 3-2 due to their bye. Atlanta 3-3. Coming off a home loss to the Lions, the Bucs, where they got spanked, right? Only scoring 6 points. Lions D's very good, though. Falcons not as good. Falcons are coming off a home loss to Washington week before. Then they were lucky to beat Houston at home. I think Houston threw that game away. Houston could have won that game. And they just really have been struggling to score points. Ridder, I keep saying this time and time again, Ridder's just not an NFL starting quarterback. I don't think he'll be the NFL quarterback for the Falcons next year. I don't think he'll be an NFL quarterback for anyone next year. You can't just run the ball all game and rely on Riddler to maybe hit, a couple plays here and there because he's just not doing it. And what does Tampa Bay do well? Tampa Bay stops the run. This is what they do well, right? Top 5 in the NFL stopping a run. So this is where I think Tampa Bay does have the advantage. Can they put up enough points on the board, though? That's going to be the question. Can they put up enough points on the board? Falcons, decent. It's not terrible. So are they going to be able to put up... I expect it to be a 1 to 3 point game, guys. Lines right here, 2.5 favor the home team. I expect these teams to split home and home. I think Tampa Bay does get it done here. Total super low. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 13-9. Some low-scoring game. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes this under. But I'm going to look at Tampa Bay at home to bounce back to avoid back-to-back home losses. And I think that run D is going to be the difference. If they can stop the run, limit the run, what are they allowing? 83 a game? I think if it's around there, I think they can win this game. And I think overall they're fairly well. Lions very high-scoring offense. They limited them 20 points last week. So I think Tampa Bay's defense will be the difference in this game. And Mayfield just does enough to win this game. Monday Night Football, 49ers -7 at Vikings, total 44. A perfect bounce-back spot for the 49ers, even with some question marks on the health side, right? Imagine this 49ers team who is talked about, being the best team in the NFL. I still think they are. Not, they should have won that game against Cleveland. I don't think they played their best. They did have some injury concerns throughout the game. But imagine they lost to P.J. Walker and the Browns, and then lost to the Vikings on the road in back-to-back games without Jefferson. I don't see it. Hard to believe, right? CMC, Debo, and Trent Williams all got hurt last week, not serious injuries. They can all actually play this week. They haven't practiced. Watch the Friday report. Friday report will be important here. Brock Purdy, that was his worst game I've seen him play probably. Didn't look good. We do have to give some Browns credit, though. Least total yards allowed on defense this year. I think just over 1,000 total yards. Unless you're playing Lamar Jackson, they've looked good. They've looked very good on defense, and it showed against Brock Purdy. Either way, the 49ers should have won that game, though, right? They should have still won the game. He missed a field goal there, right? So it wasn't like P.J. Walker played that well. It was their defense that won them the game. So, hats off to the Browns there. Vikings are coming off a win, actually, without Jefferson. 1-0 without Jefferson. First game, and it was against the lonely Browns, right? Fields got hurt in that game, could never get going. Just a terrible game overall. Browns actually had a chance to come back on the final drive, but the backup quarterback couldn't carry them down. Let's see if CMC is back for this one before betting the 49ers here. Even just with one of these guys back, even without, let's be honest, even without all three, I do think the 49ers win the game. Now, am I going to bet the 49ers -7 without CMC, Debo, and Trent Williams? No. Could I look at them on a teaser? Could I look them in the Survivor market? Yes. Survivor market, probably not. I like a few other games more. But 49ers should still win this game, guys. I don't see them losing back-to-back road games against very bad teams. I'm not going to say the Browns are very bad. I think the Browns are like a 500 team. Vikings aren't a good team. They're not going to make the playoffs. So 49ers get it done. Wait for news on the injury. Watch the Friday report. I'm okay betting 49ers -7 with all three of those guys back, even two of them back. Because those are three key guys. I know they're deep. And I still think they're going to win the game without three. But I'm not going to bet -7 without those three guys. Just tough, right? CMC is just so important to that offense. Debo, sure, he's not playing. They play a lot without him. They're used to playing without him. But I expect one or two of these guys to play. So watch the injury report for this one, guys. Underdogs. 10-2. 10-2 on the year, guys. Bears last week came close, but the offense could never get going. Fields got hurt also in that one. How could I not look at Miami here? After we saw what the Eagles, we get Miami plus 120. Eagles last week lost to Zach Wilson. Tall task for Miami, sure, but Miami's been one of the best teams in the NFL, guys. They can put up points. This Eagles defense is not stopping anybody, right? Eagles team is to score points, outscore you. Their defense, sure, solid against the run, but Miami's not going to run it then. Miami's going to throw the ball, and that's what they do best. I just don't see anyone stopping them. A little banged up too, the Eagles. I think Slay's injured. Not sure if he'll be back for this one. He was limited. Looks like Devontae Smith and Lane Johnson may not go. They haven't practiced this week. So keep that in mind. Those are two very key guys for them. So if you're going to be plus 120 with Miami, why not? Eagles are 5-1 and haven't played a good game yet. This is going to be probably the best team they played yet. right? Miami's going to be the best team they've played, and that offense is high-powered. So I think Miami could get it done. I think they're worth a look here at plus 120. I may bet them on my Circa spreads at plus 2.5. You can get plus 2.5 here. I think it's going to be a close game. Yes, that Eagles bounce back theory is there, of course. But it's going to be my favorite underdog of the week, guys. Don't love anything. The two games that I talked about, Falcons and Lions, one of them could win the game. Wouldn't be surprised there, but let's go with Miami plus 120. Teaser option. San Fran is one I talked about. Take a look at them. If you're more comfortable, wait for the injury on Friday. Bills -1. Allen plays best against the Pats, right? We know his record against the Pats. And he always bounces back, I find, after an ugly game. So look for the bounce back here. Pats are the bottom 3 team in the NFL right now. And NFL, and I like Seattle. Seattle at home versus Arizona. I think that's a good teaser for you guys this week. That will do it, guys. That will do it. Got through this. A little better. You can probably tell if you listen to my UFC video compared to this one. Getting a little better. Should be better by tomorrow. Like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Enjoy NFL Week 7.